Thanks to the folks at the FHFA for hosting this public session and allowing me to speak today. My name is Brian Zitin. I'm the CEO, co-founder of a FinTech called Reggora, where we focus on providing workflow software to streamline and automate the appraisal process. I thought it was interesting that of the 25 different companies presenting here today, around 20% of us are all in the property valuation space. It makes sense because the appraisal industry is one that responsible innovation isn't just desired, but it is literally needed in order to maintain the long-term feasibility of not just the appraisal industry, but the mortgage industry at large. With the population of appraisers consistently dwindling in number every single year, if we don't figure out a sustainable path forward, we'll be looking at appraisals that take months to complete and cost thousands of dollars due to the lack of supply. So for us, innovation that brings in new talent and makes things more efficient is existentially important. At the same time, the accurate valuation of the underlying collateral is also extremely important in order to maintain proper systemic balance and prevent another housing crisis. Therefore, we can't just throw the newest and coolest technology at a problem without a lot of thoughtfulness. So that's why today I want to focus on 3 specific questions outlined in the RFI. Number 1, what factors are currently inhibiting the adoption of FinTech and innovation in the housing finance sector? Number 2, how can the FHFA facilitate responsible innovation? And number 3, what form of stakeholder engagement are most effective in facilitating this? And I'll talk generally with some examples in appraisal, obviously. So number 1, what are the factors contributing to currently inhibiting FinTechs and adoption in the space? In my opinion, the largest factor here is a lack of transparency and collaboration from the regulators, which is why I'm so excited about this RFI. And let me explain. So FinTech in the mortgage space is unique compared to a lot of other industries because it is extremely capital intensive to build products. Due to both the highly regulated and intensely competitive nature of the industry, there's very little room for error when it comes to loan production. Therefore, to successfully launch a mission critical product at scale that impacts the loan process, you have to invest millions, if not tens of millions of dollars just to sign your first customers. For example, my company, Reggora, we've raised around $55 million in venture capital in total, and it took us $4 million just to get our product to a place where we could sign our first national lender to adopt it. So since there are high switchover costs for lenders to migrate to new systems, your product has to be amazing compared to the current process. However, a lot of potential entrepreneurs can't get the funding to build something amazing if it doesn't accord with the current regulations. So we have this unfortunate cycle where lenders don't have as much new technology to adopt because entrepreneurs won't make it, because lenders won't use it because it doesn't accommodate existing regulations. So innovation only works in practice as much as it is feasibly compliant. So it's very difficult for entrepreneurs and investors to risk millions of dollars in advance for something that wouldn't be compliant today, and they have no idea if it ever will be. So how can the FHFA invest in responsible innovation? By being extremely transparent about specific targets and outcomes and collaborating with FinTechs on them with open data. So let me give you an example in the appraisal space. Everyone wants to improve turn times on valuations while maintaining proper risk management. Well, what is risk management? The primary market will do whatever the secondary market tells it to do, and the secondary market will do what it's regulated to do to maintain a certain level of risk. Those parameters that determine and expose risk, though, aren't necessarily publicly available. So if you want to design new valuation methodologies and technology that are better, but also don't increase foreclosure risk, for example, we have no visibility into which specific properties are foreclosed on, why, how did the valuation impact that, what were the patterns associated with those properties. Right now, much of that data is privately held by the GSEs, servicers, and other participants. So if regulators put specific targets on these risk metrics and made them required to be reported on and open in the data in a public way, now downstream FinTech providers can help come up with ideas on ways to improve them and be more certain around the feasibility of adoption. Aspiring entrepreneurs could point to open problems with defined targets, pitch investors how to tackle them and build a product they know that would get used and would be feasibly compliant versus relying on the mystery of regulatory change. So if, for example, desktop appraisals had shown increased risk on properties with particular types of characteristics, we could develop technology to address that, and it could be tested in an open way with defined guidelines instead of behind closed doors with just a few parties. So to summarize, how the FHFA can remove roadblocks and help facilitate responsible innovation. Step 1, clearly define minimum targets and goals when it comes to the risk metrics associated with specific regulations holding innovation back. Step 2, make the data around these issues and targets publicly available to help inspire prospective entrepreneurs and add certainty to the capital investments required to tackle these issues. Step 3, engage with these innovators in an open and transparent way with defined guidelines in order to cast the broadest net possible while maintaining proper risk management. And step 4, identify the solutions and processes that improve the targets the most and adopt new policies around them. Entrepreneurs will always deliver amazing innovation if given the proper environment to flourish, and that's no different in the housing finance industry. So thank you so much for the time today. Look forward to continuing the conversation.